Over the years, many villains have threatened the destruction of planet Earth. However, time and time again, the Z Warriors have managed to band together and defeat these threats. Now, for the first time, the strength of our strongest isn't enough to defend planet Earth. Great destruction has already been caused to the planet, and ironically, in the veins of the harbinger of this destruction pumps the blood of the Earth's greatest protector. In this video, we conclude the story of Xicor, son of Goku. When we last left off, Goten and Trunks traveled to new planet Namek and used the Dragon Balls there to heal the damaged Earth. They also wished for the revival of everyone that was killed by Xicor. And finally, as part of a plan to restore the Earth Dragon Balls and ultimately bring Goku back to our world, Trunks and Goten decided to use the final Namekian wish to resurrect an old enemy, Broly. And with that, the story begins. Broly, so it really is you. Vegeta, is this the living world? I want to pause right here for a second and ask, what do you guys think happens to Broly's body when he dies? Remember that in the Dragon Ball mythos, only great good warriors get to keep their bodies in the afterworld. In Dragon Ball Super, we've seen villains like Frieza keep their bodies, but that was only for the purpose of punishment. He was essentially being punished for an eternity. Broly, on the other hand, this version of Broly has never really been a bad guy. He's just sort of been manipulated and misguided. So what do you guys believe? Does Broly get to keep his body in the other world after he dies? Anyway, let's continue. Of course it is, Vegeta responds. Immediately, Broly begins to snap as he remembers how he was killed by Gohan, Trunks, and Goten. Vegeta notices this and says, so your memories of when you were killed are resurfacing, huh? Broly transforms and dashes at Vegeta. Vegeta also transforms to a Super Saiyan, preparing for the clash, when suddenly Goten rushes between them. Wait a minute, he says. Broly, stop. Who are you? Said Broly. Obviously, this Broly isn't aware of fusion because this is something that was introduced to the series after he was killed. Don't interfere, said Broly, and he attacks Goten. However, in an instant, Goten becomes Super Saiyan 3 and he begins to easily deal with all of Broly's attacks. He then uses an ability called Galactic Donut to suppress Broly and snarkily says, it's just a bit too early for you to oppose me. It's really insane to see Broly in this situation because before, every time Broly showed up, he was a serious threat. He was as close to unstoppable as it gets, smashing faces into walls, defeating multiple opponents that were supposed to be as strong or stronger than he is. But so much time has passed and the Z Warriors have gotten so much stronger that it's just not realistic for this version of Broly to be able to keep up. Now, modern day Broly is a different story, but let's keep going. Gotenks and Vegeta subdue Broly and take him back to Capsule Corp, where he is being suppressed by what I could only assume is some of Bulma's technology. I'm assuming that because if this was regular metal, Broly would be able to just rip through it, even in his base form. Anyway, he is being watched over by Bra, Vegeta's daughter. She offers him some food and says, you're a Saiyan too, so you must be a real pig. Be a good boy and eat. Suddenly, Broly manages to escape the shackles on his arm and grabs Bra's leg. I'll kill you, he says. Although she was obviously surprised, with a stern look on her face, Bra says, I'll tell you right now, the era when you were the strongest is long over. She touches a button on the console suppressing Broly, which sends a powerful shock all through Broly's body. I think it's easy to see the obvious parallels here between this situation and New Broly, since that shock collar that Paragus used to control Broly's power is such a big part of his lore. In the legendary Super Saiyan movie where Broly was first introduced, it was not a shock collar, it was a mind control device. But the way Broly's power is controlled has been reimagined, and this scene right here may have been where it started, since Toyotaro, the person who created this manga, is the same person working on the official Dragon Ball story at the moment. Anyway, let's keep going. Bra then continues to say, nowadays, anyone who's a Saiyan can become a Super Saiyan. You've got no choice but to listen to what we say. The story then flashes to the other world, where Omega Shenlong is still talking to Goku. He says, it looks like a Super Saiyan from the past has been resurrected through Porunga's power. A Super Saiyan from the past. Why'd they do that? Asked Goku. Those on Earth are trying one method to revive the Dragon Balls. This holds for all 7 of us dragons and you, Goku, since we're all residents of the Ryushin realm. But there is one person here who isn't a resident of the Ryushin realm. Oh? Said Goku. This is where the group figures out that Pikkon, Goku's sparring partner, isn't a resident of the Ryushin realm, and thus the rules of the Ryushin realm may not necessarily apply to him. Back on Earth, Broly is having a dream about his father Paragus. In the dream, his father says, "Listen to me, Broly. You must despise the royal family who sent us into exile, as well as other Saiyans except you and me." Broly then remembers his fight with Goku, which sends him into a rage. "Kakarot," he yells, as he transforms, breaking the shackles that were meant to subdue him. At the same time, Bulma runs into the room. Broly charges at her, and then suddenly, Vegeta is between them. "Broly," he said, "you want to kill me, right? Well then, become stronger. The way you are now, you can't kill me or even Trunks." Broly snatches his hand away from Vegeta, who was stopping him from reaching Bulma. He then opens his hand in Vegeta's face, preparing to fire a ki blast. "Come on," said Vegeta. Finally realizing the situation he's in, Broly instead turns his hand and shoots a ki blast, tearing a hole in the side of Capsule Corp. He says, "Vegeta, I'll kill you no matter what." Vegeta says, "Just try it," and then Broly flies off. Right then, Trunks rushes into the room. "Dad," he said, "don't tell me you let that Broly get away. We need him to revive Goku." Vegeta responds and says, "How many times do I have to tell you? We don't need Kakarot. I'll take care of that bastard Xicor." "Dad, this is no time to say that," said Trunks. "It's alright, just come on, Trunks. We're heading to the gravity room," responds Vegeta. After flying off, Broly lands atop a tall building overlooking a city. He's watching as other kids interact with their fathers, while simultaneously having thoughts of his own father. "Don't think," Paragus says to him. "Abandon all thought, Broly." "Please stop, Dad," said Broly, grabbing his head as he raises his hand towards the city below him. He's getting ready to fire a ki blast and destroy it all. Moments away from this, he hears a voice behind him. "So you're Broly, huh?" said the voice. Broly turns around. "Who the hell are you?" he said. "It's Pikkon," and he responds by saying, "Well, it's a long story. Don't give me that crap," said Broly. "Why are you here?" Pikkon responds by saying, "Simply put, I am here to persuade you." "What?" said Broly. Pikkon continues, "We're sorry to bring you back from the dead like this, but you've got to help us revive Son Goku." "Son Goku? You mean Kakarot? Kakarot is no longer in this world?" "That's right," said Pikkon. And then Broly begins a thunderous laugh. He says, "So Kakarot is dead, is he? That means I just have to kill Vegeta and I'll be the #1 Saiyan." Pikkon responds and says, "No, the thing is, something terrible has happened, so you've got to cooperate with us. We need you to revive Son Goku." "Revive Kakarot? Did you really think I'll help you do that?" said Broly. "Well, we didn't think that you'd be easy to convince," said Pikkon. "I don't understand how I've been brought back, but I'm doing things my way," responded Broly. "First, I'll kill all these annoying Earthlings." Pikkon then responds and says, "Alright, kill as much as you want after you defeat me." "Confident, aren't you?" said Broly, who instantly transforms and charges at Pikkon. Pikkon very quickly moves out of Broly's way and says, "Let's change locations," simultaneously dodging a kick from Broly while grabbing his leg and tossing him for what seems to be miles. Broly is unbelievably upset, and when they land, Pikkon asks, "Why so frustrated? Is it hatred for Goku or jealousy of Vegeta?" "Shut up," responds Broly. "Why do you hate your fellow Saiyans?" said Pikkon. Broly powers up and sends a flurry of attack. Pikkon casually dodges while saying, "Try asking yourself, what's the source of your frustration?" "Shut up," said Broly. "You know, don't you?" said Pikkon as he knocked Broly to the ground. Again, Broly yells, "Shut up," as he attacks Pikkon directly to the face. "Open up, Broly," said Pikkon as he caught the attack. On the next panel, Broly has fought Pikkon to exhaustion. He's laying on his back while Pikkon sits casually a few feet away from him. "Where is Kakarot right now?" he asks. "Training in the heavenly realm," responds Pikkon. "Is he stronger than you?" "Yeah, vastly stronger," respond Pikkon again. "I see. I'm only interested in fighting," said Broly. "I'll surpass Kakarot and Vegeta, and then I'll kill them with my own hands." "Is that so?" said Pikkon. "My goal won't change," said Broly. At this point, the story flashes over to Goten and Trunks, who are training in the gravity room. It lets us know that there's about 1 month left until Xicor breaks free of the Z-Sword. Goten and Trunks are training their hardest. Next to them, so is Vegeta, who is in a deep meditation. Even Pan and Bra are giving it their all. For the first time, the story flashes to Krillin, who's aged quite a bit. Krillin decides that he's going to train as well, for the sake of protecting his family. He begins sparring with his wife, Android 18. Even Broly seemed to have put his rage aside and is training to accomplish his goal of becoming stronger than Goku and Vegeta under the supervision of Pikkon. Over in the Ryoshin realm, Goku is training with Omega Shenron. As onlookers, the other dragons are having a discussion. Porunga says the day of resurrection is definitely at hand. All the conditions have been met. Now we only have to wait. But there's one thing I can say for sure. If you all lose to Xicor, the living world, the afterlife, hell, heaven, the Kaioshin realm, the dark demon realm, and even the Ryoshin realm will be no more. And so, 1 month passed by. We are taken to the location of the Z Sword, moments before it's expected for Xicor to break free. The sword is being protected by Hercule, who is given orders to some military men. The men just inform him that they have finished evacuating the army. Hercule responds and says, "You better evacuate soon too, and tell the media that evil will never prevail as long as Mr. Satan's around." Not too far off, Trunks and Vegeta are standing, looking at the sword. "It's finally time," said Vegeta, as a long crack appears in the sword. Behind them, Krillin arrives. "Hey, haven't seen you two in a while," said Krillin. "Why'd you bother showing up?" respond Vegeta. "Well, I figured I'll come in handy in a pinch. There's always the Destructo Disc, I guess." "Forget it," said Vegeta. "I'll be fine on my own." Krillin tells Trunks, "Hey, Vegeta's really roaring to go, isn't he?" Trunks responds, "Yes, he trained quite a bit." Then Krillin notices the length of Trunks' hair and says, "In just 1 month? Say, when did your hair grow so long?" Trunks responds and says, "Grandpa built a training room that regulates the flow of time." "Like the Room of Spirit and Time?" asked Krillin. "That's right," said Trunks. "I went in for a year, but father trained for 5 years. Just then, the sword snapped. "Enough talk," said Vegeta. "Here he comes." "Get out here, Xicor," yelled Vegeta. The hilt of the sword spiraled over their heads, and the 3 Z warriors stood in amazement, shocked. "What a storm of ki," said Krillin. Some distance away, Oob senses it and says, "So he's finally revived." With a furious look on his face, Xicor crushes the remaining half of the Z sword. He stands and says, "You'll all pay for this, you miserable insects." And that is where this chapter ends. I hope after this series you can see why Xicor has become such a huge fan favorite. Unfortunately, after this chapter, its creator, Toyable, also known as Toyotaro, started becoming involved with official Dragon Ball work, and so he couldn't finish this series in the way most of his fans wanted him to. But he did come back and try to wrap things up. And that story is what I will share with you right now. We are taken far into the future, about 100 years. Master Roshi is still alive, and he is recounting the events of this battle with Xicor to Goku Jr. and Vegeta Jr. The two are there under the supervision of Pan, who is an old lady at this point, over 100 years old. Master Roshi then tells them, symbolically, the sun is setting, and we better leave the story here for today. Goku Jr. and Vegeta Jr. are appalled. "Wait a minute," they said. "I want to know the rest. Grandpa hasn't even appeared yet." Grandpa being Goku. Their reaction here is obviously meant to symbolize how we feel about the Xicor story. Master Roshi responds and says, "Sorry, telling that story really wore me out. Go easy on me. I'm old." The kids decide to give Master Roshi a break, and as they're getting ready to head home, we get hit with a little bit of comedy. A couple of new villains show up. Bibidi, son of Babidi, and Majin Poo. They're apparently going to tear the planet apart. Kid Goku and Vegeta are able to easily take care of them, and seeing this puts a smile on Pan's and Master Roshi's face. Seeing how capable this new generation is made Master Roshi realize that finally, maybe his job was done. And with that, the old hermit, who at this point is well over 400 years old, closes his eyes and allows himself to collapse. Master Roshi dies. But it isn't a completely sad story. Remember at the beginning of the video, I asked you if you think Broly gets to keep his body. And I also mentioned that some villains like Frieza were allowed to keep their bodies to suffer eternal punishment. It seems as if Master Roshi was allowed to keep his body, but not for punishment. He wakes up and he's surrounded by all the people whose lives he's touched in his centuries of being alive. They're all congratulating him on a job well done and thanking him for all his hard work and tutelage. People like Tien, Yamcha, Chaozu, Chi-Chi, Grandpa Gohan, and of course a young Krillin and the man himself, Goku, all thanking Master Roshi. At the very end of the chapter, we get a message from Toyotaro himself. He apologizes for not being able to finish the series and said he threw this chapter together out of desperation. He also says that he'll continue to work diligently, implying that this whole story is very close to him and it's something that he himself wants to see done. So if you made it this far in the video, hashtag finish Xicor in the comments below. There are other Xicor stories out there, but as far as the one written by the creator, by Toyotaro, this is where the story ends for now. So hashtag finish Xicor. In the description below, there will be links to these chapters if you want to read them yourself. I'll also put a link to the popular fan-made animation by Reiji where Goku returns. Last thing is thank you guys. Dooku, thank you so much for all your support and positive feedback on the Yamoshi book. It's selling really well and it's all because of you guys. If you haven't gotten yourself a copy yet, link is in the description. It'll be a perfect gift for any fan of the series. I want you guys to do me a favor. Have a great day. I will be talking to you again real soon. Bye.